We begin tonight at 6 with breaking news. Tonight, the Johnson County coroner has now identified the pilot who was killed in that plane crash in Greenwood.
This all happened around 10:45 this morning, and it occurred just off of Main Street and I-65 on the south side. Our Samantha Johnson spent the day there, joining us now live tonight at 6 with what she's learned about the pilot who died in this crash. Sam.
Anne Marie and Scott, this is really a heartbreaking story. Officials confirmed to us that pilot was the only person on that plane. Her name is Anh Tu Nguyen. She has an extensive flying resume, according to her social media, thousands of miles in the air. And we can also tell you tonight she founded a nonprofit designed to help other Asian women interested in aerospace get involved and get connected. We're now hearing from that nonprofit who wrote, "May she fly high in the blue skies." We've also learned Nguyen is a Boilermaker. She graduated from Purdue. According to the university, she grew up in Vietnam. She moved to the United States when she was 12. She studied math and aerospace engineering at Purdue, according to the university. After founding her nonprofit, she then opened a flight school called Dragon Flight Training Academy down in Florida. That was just 5 years ago. And then just last year, she became only the 10th woman in the world to fly solo around the world. Quite the resume. She was only 44 years old. Nguyen, by the way, had a massive following on social media. She had 150,000 followers. She would often post videos of behind the scenes of her piloting and her flights just to show people what it really looked like. She posted a video this morning, just hours ago, her final video to all of her followers. And in it, she had mentioned she was excited to get back in the plane. She was headed to Pennsylvania today, according to that video. And she said it felt like more than a flight. It was a calling and a mission to engage other young Asian women. Certainly a tragedy.
Very sad.
And now, of course, the investigation turns to exactly what happened for her, what happened in the aircraft. You've been here all day. What do you know about what we know so far?
And there's still so many questions, but the NTSB actually just got here. And as you can see right behind me, they're here at the plane surveying it and looking at what happened. Now, here's what it looked like just a few hours ago. It was a very different scene. This parking lot was actually filled with first responders and with locals all looking to see what was going on. I mean, this is a very busy area. We've got the gas station, we've got multiple restaurants, multiple stores, a lot of traffic going on. Now, as you heard, Anh Tu Nguyen was the sole occupant on the plane. We know the plane took off shortly before the crash from Indy South Greenwood Airport. Now, that's about a mile from here. One witness we spoke to, he actually saw the plane go down. He says he saw the plane take a nosedive and do a circle and eventually go down. He says it was a very scary thing to see.
I cry out to God, oh my God, there's lives at stake and you don't know how many, if it's just going to be the people on the plane, what it's going to hit. And so, it's a wake-up call for all of us because you never know.
As I said, NTSB is here. They're going to continue the investigation. They're going to do what they can here, and then they're going to actually take the plane to a secure facility to continue what their work is. And they said it's going to be some time before we get some answers.
Yeah, you mentioned it. I want to reiterate it. From where we are right now, we can see Main Street and I-65. We talked to the manager of the gas station here who said he called that pilot a hero for not going down in the front of the gas station, which, as you could imagine, would have been a much more serious situation. So certainly a lot of questions to come in the following
days. And it's a tragic scene just hours later when you hear all of that.
Yeah, so much more to come. As she mentioned, NTSB now on the scene tonight. Of course, we'll continue to follow this. More for you tonight at 11 and tomorrow here on 13 News.
All right, Marina and Sam reporting live for us tonight on the South Side. Thanks so much, and certainly our condolences to her family. We're going to keep a crew trying to get more information for you, and as we have breaking updates, we'll provide them for you at WTHR.com as well as on our app.
Hot and humid again today. Feels like temperatures for most of us still between 95 and about 100. Feeling like 99 in Seymour, 100 in Bedford, and the current feels like temperature in Indianapolis is 95. Actual air temperature is 92, but there are 70s on the map in Lafayette and Kokomo. We are rain cooled across the northern half of the state thanks to this complex of rain and storms strengthening at times to produce some damaging wind gusts, at least that potential, and some hail as well. well. Strong storms coming out of Wabash. They are approaching Marion, so you've got a little bit of time. Marion, Gas City, and Fairmount before that stronger storm moves in. And then south, we've got a couple of cells that have developed across the eastern sections of Hamilton County, impacting Cicero and Noblesville right now. Coming downtown, we are dry now for Mercury and Fever. Temperatures in the upper 80s and low 90s this evening, with storms, at least for now, staying across the northern part of the state. Morning rain and storm chances tomorrow, but then we get into a big pattern change just in time for opening day at the State Fair. Friday, sunshine and near 80.
We are waiting for a verdict at this hour. Right now, a Marion County jury is deliberating verdicts after a 3-day triple murder trial.
Our Rich Nye has been the only local reporter covering this trial, and tonight he's waiting with family and friends of the victims. Rich joins us live with the closing arguments presented to the jury. Rich?
Scott and Anne Marie, the prosecution says that this was a setup for an execution of a man at a drug deal. The defense says all the evidence is circumstantial, and the jury has been deliberating now for about 4.5 hours this afternoon. Malik Shaw, 25 years old, is charged with 3 counts of murder. He is accused of shooting and killing 3 people. This happened at an apartment complex in Lawrence on April 12, 2024. 27-year-old Spencer Lawson, 19-year-old Aaliyah Wortman, and her 19-year-old cousin London Coleman, all 3 were found dead. All 3 shot multiple times and at least once in the head. Again, this happened last April.
You've not had a single eyewitness, direct evidence, come into this courtroom and tell you under oath that they saw Malik Shaw fire any weapon.
The defense talks about there's no direct evidence, there's no eyewitnesses. But again, that was the plan. You can blame the defendant for that. He did exactly what he intended to do. You saw the message telling him to make sure there would be no witnesses.
The prosecution presented evidence to show that a phone found inside a car that was abandoned by the suspects at the crime scene belonged to Shaw. That phone received several text messages on the day of the murders, giving instructions to kill people during a drug deal. Now, a second suspect in this case apparently committed suicide and so was never arrested. And again, the jury has been deliberating this afternoon. They started about 1:36. We continue to wait with family and friends.
As soon as we get that verdict, we'll bring that live to our viewers. Rich Nye, thanks for that live report. Tonight at 6, attorneys for a man on Indiana's death row want his execution date to be put on hold.
His name is Roy Ward. He's scheduled to die on October 10th. He's on death row for raping and murdering a 15-year-old girl back in 2001.
Now, according to the court documents that were filed today, attorneys for Ward argue his execution carries the substantial risk of needless pain and suffering. This appeal argues that Benjamin Ritchie appeared to experience pain and suffering during his execution back in May. Ward would be the 3rd person put to death since the state of Indiana resumed executions last year. Tonight, an IMPD officer is now out of the hospital 1 day after he was shot while on duty.
So take a look at these images. IMPD posting these on social media, and it shows that lineup of fellow officers supporting the injured officer as he left the hospital today. We now have been told that he was shot 3 times. IMPD just arrested 2 19-year-olds for resisting police in connection to the traffic stop that led to that shooting yesterday. It all went down near 16th Street in Lafayette after an officer pulled over a car that was reported stolen.
Metro Police say there were 4 people inside the car. One of the passengers started shooting at the police officer as he took the driver into custody. The 4th suspect still on the run tonight. The suspect who was shot remains in critical condition. Angela?
Scott, a big drop in the muggy meter means milder air is coming. When we'll have morning temperatures in the 50s in your forecast.
Today marks 80 years since the USS Indianapolis sank, killing hundreds.
How that sacrifice is being honored today.